Yes, this is John G. Sutton, and welcome to Tales from the Jails. Notice I've got that little nervous and tickety tick there. Yeah. Anyway, today I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences working as a discipline officer in the prison known as the Scrubs. That's Wormwood Scrubs on Duquesne Road in London. Now, you may not know this, but Duquesne Road is named after the prison Governor General known as Sir Edmund Duquesne, who commissioned the building of Wormwood Scrubs in the 1860s. And the road is named after him, and the Scrubs stands on that road. The reason it's called Wormwood Scrubs is because the land that it was built on, the land that it is built on, was known as Wormwood Scrubs because the scrub known as wormwood grew there apparently. Anyway, in 1975, when I first went to Wormwood Scrubs, I spent some time working on D-Wing, which wasn't my permanent posting, by the way. I was permanently posted into C-Wing on C2 landing, which at the time was the biggest landing in Europe. That landing had 200 inmates. One landing. Yeah, imagine that. And effectively 4 staff dealing with 200 inmates. So it was like odds of 50 to 1. But we managed, just use the old gentle persuasion, as you do. Yeah. Anyway, we get on to D-Wing. D-Wing was infamous. It was the wing on which the convicted Russian spy, George Blake, escaped from Wormwood Scrubs in 1966, which was obviously before I got there. But the staff who were working on D-Wing had been there when Blake was there and showed me the window that it was alleged that he escaped through this window. Apparently, one of his fellow inmates who helped him to escape smashed this window, and Blake climbed through it, jumped down, ran across to the outer wall where one of the former inmates from D-Wing, who had recently been discharged from the prison, threw a rope ladder over the wall, and he climbed up it and escaped. And that's their story. I don't know if you've ever seen the walls at Wormwood Scrubs, but they're about 16, 17 foot tall. They are not easy to get up and certainly not easy to get down. And the window that George Blake was supposedly climbed out of, you couldn't get at it. It was seriously the end of the landing. The landings those are the metal landings with the walkways that go around the cells. Yeah, cells on the big brick cells, brick and stone. Yeah, landing outside with metal a metal railing. Yeah, and then at the end of the wing they had another metal railing and landing. But the distance between the actual end of the metal railings and the window that Blake is supposedly stepped off the landing and climbed out of, there's a distance of about 10 to 12 feet. Now, he couldn't have done it. He couldn't have done that. I mean, I looked at it and I was athletic at the time. Ex-parachute regiment, did all that. P company, running around the ladders, yeah, all that. Nope. He couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. And I was a fit young man. Blake, who had been convicted of being a double agent, was recruited by MI6. But MI6 did not know that he was in actual fact a double agent, and he was working for the Soviet Union and selling all the secrets to the Russians. Eventually he was prosecuted and sentenced to 42 years in prison and to be held at one of the Category A dispersal prisons, which was Wormwood Scrubs, and D-Wing was the Category A unit at the Scrubs. Not the segregation block, that's a different thing. Yeah, it was a Category A wing, and that's where he was held, but he managed to escape. I've seen it, and personally, the story that is accepted, look it up on Wikipedia. Don't take my word for it. Go on to Google, type in George Blake, yeah? Take you to the Wikipedia page, have a look, have a read at that, yeah? He died in Russia at the age of 98, I believe, in 2020. So he's going to be dead a couple of years. We could have asked him. Anyway, George Blake escaped from D-Wing. On D-Wing, when I was there, was a character called Leslie Grantham, who you will maybe better know as Dirty Den on the EastEnders. And Leslie Grantham had been convicted of killing or murdering, I don't know if it was got down to manslaughter, I think it was murder, in Germany, of murdering a taxi driver. He apparently tried to rob the taxi driver and pulled a gun on him. The taxi driver fought back. The gun, that's what Leslie Grantham says, the gun went off, taxi driver died. Leslie Grantham said it was accidental, he didn't mean to do that. But he still got a serious sentence, and when I was in the Scrubs at 1975, he was coming towards the end of that sentence. And he was in the drama groups, and they did all drama and stuff like that. So I believe that's where he got his first taste of actually acting, because prior to that, he'd been a soldier in Germany and subsequently a prisoner, having murdered somebody. And he was a character. You may remember Dirty Den. Eventually, he disgraced himself and went back to his usual ways. He was apparently going into chat rooms on the internet. I don't know if it was Facebook, Instagram, I can't tell you, but he was talking openly to people there and then standing up and showing them little Leslie, which I believe, from all accounts, it was quite little. I don't know, I mean, but that's what he was doing. Leslie Grantham. Also on D-Wing at the time was a character who was coming to the very end of his sentence. In fact, he was discharged from Wormwood Scrubs in 1975. A character called Big Jim Hussey. He was one of the train robbers, and he was on D-Wing. In fact, it transpired that he admitted that he was the man of the train robbers that hit the train driver, Mills, I think his name was, hit the train driver with a metal bar, seriously injuring him. And Big Jim Hussey was not really a career criminal, but he'd been hired. He was a painter and decorator by all accounts. But he'd been brought into the gang by the brains behind the Buster and yeah, all that lot. They brought him in, and he was the muscle. You see, he was a big, hefty guy. But at the Scrubs, he was quiet. Usual thing. He used to join Tony Lambriano for evening meals, and Lambriano was a good cook, by the way, and quite affable. He wasn't anti-staff. I mean, obviously, he was getting towards the end of his sentence as well, and he just wanted it nice and calm, nice and calm. That's the way you do it. If you got to do some bird, do it quietly. Yeah, Lambriano knew how to do it. Leslie Grantham obviously did, because he got out there and got himself a contract virtually straight away, working for television on EastEnders. Because there's one thing that the media likes, you know. They like villains, you know. If the Crow Twins would have been released, you know, they would undoubtedly have been reality TV stars instead of long-term inmates of Broadmoor, because basically they were stark, staring bonkers. I hope you've enjoyed today's Tales from the Jails. If you've got any questions you would like to ask, please do so in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer. If you notice, I always answer, even the ones that are slightly critical. Somebody the other day accused me of making it all up. You can check, yeah? Have a look. Type my name in. Yeah, BBC will verify it, The Guardian will, The Telegraph, all the major newspapers. I've been in there writing about my time and experience, and today I've just given you a little story in my current channel on YouTube, Tales from the Jails. So if you like it, do subscribe and maybe buy my book, Psychic Screw. It's available on Amazon. Thank you very much.